basically $1 million or $500,000. You gotta live off of that. You gotta spend the money, studio money with that. You gotta buy jewelry with that. You gotta buy clothes with that. Like basically everything. It's just
Chat,
like,
is this real?
spending hella bread, but like he getting that, he getting the money. Like that's for sure. But now that house is take care of your family. But that's when you got the money. If you don't got no money, how can you expect to help people if you don't got no money, especially if you can help yourself? What's up guys, here back with another video. We're gonna be reacting to Inside Pooh Shiesty $1 Million Lifestyle. Let's go.
Today we're talking about Launtrell Williams, aka Pooh Shiesty.
Picture this, you're sitting in a federal prison.
Today we're talking about Launtrell Williams, aka Pooh Shiesty.
Picture this, you're sitting in a federal prison cell, can't go anywhere, can't drive, nothing, but you're so loaded with cash that you decide to buy 2 Ferraris just because you're bored. That's exactly what Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty did, and that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this cat's insane wealth story. We're talking about a young shorty who went from the projects to millionaire status with one phone call from Gucci Mane. This dude was dropping 100 stacks on grills, copping Lamborghinis like they were regular whips, and buying his mama a whole mansion, all before he could legally drink, no cap. But here's the crazy part, gang. While most rappers go broke when they get locked up, Pooh Shiesty was making power moves from behind bars that'll blow your mind. From his first record deal to those prison Ferrari purchases, this story is absolutely wild. So if you want to find out exactly how this Memphis cat built a multi-million-dollar empire, how he stayed rich while locked up, and why buying those Ferraris from prison was the ultimate flex that had the whole industry talking, then you better stick around until the end of this video. Trust me, homie, this story is about to have you shook. What's good, fam? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the crazy lives of your favorite rappers. Today, we're diving deep into the wild story of Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty and how this young cat went from the trenches to living like a king practically overnight. We're talking about a dude who was buying Ferraris from prison just because he was bored, dropping 100,000 on grills, and living a lifestyle most people can only dream about. So buckle up, gang, because this story is absolutely insane.
I created a 6-figure cheat code to cut through the fluff and give you the real plan. A clear path to make money online. Learn to pick a profitable niche. Grow a attracting page. Create cash generating content and so much more. So click the link in the description. Don't waste no time if you guys want to make money online.
Let me break it down for you, homie. Pooh Shiesty, real name Launtrell Williams Jr., came straight out of South Memphis, specifically the Cane Creek projects. Now, if you know anything about Memphis, you know that ain't no joke. We're talking about one of the most dangerous cities in America, with over 100 different gangs operating in the area. This young cat was born into a world where violence was just part of daily life. But here's where the story gets wild, fam. Pooh Shiesty's pops, who went by Mob Boss, was already in the game, both the street game and the music game. His father ran a record label called Mob Ties Records, so music was literally in Pooh Shiesty's DNA. But it wasn't all studio sessions and beats, no cap. His father was catching cases left and right, including being linked to some serious charges back in 2004 when Pooh Shiesty was just a kid. Growing up, Pooh Shiesty was exposed to both sides of the hustle. He'd be in the studio with his pops as a young shorty, watching the music business unfold, but he was also seeing the street life up close and personal. By age 11, this kid was already catching his first robbery charge. By 14, he was back in the system. The streets were calling, and Pooh Shiesty was answering. The grind begins. Now, here's what's crazy about Pooh Shiesty's story. Dude actually graduated high school despite all the chaos around him. After graduation, he and his homies formed what they called Choppa Gang, and they were focused on getting money by any means necessary. This wasn't just some rap group, fam. This was a real organization in the streets. Pooh Shiesty didn't even take rap seriously until after high school. He was more focused on basketball dreams and street money. But when he finally stepped into the booth in 2018, something magical happened. His first real single, Hell Night, featuring Big 30, absolutely exploded, racking up over 6 million views and putting Memphis on notice that a new king was rising. The Gucci Mane call that changed everything. Here's where the story gets absolutely wild, gang. Picture this. Pooh Shiesty is grinding in Memphis, building buzz with tracks like Main Slime, and then out of nowhere, his phone rings. It's Gucci Mane, the trap legend himself, sliding into Pooh Shiesty's DMs on Instagram. Gucci had been watching, and Main Slime caught his attention heavy. Within a couple of months of that initial contact, Pooh Shiesty was signed to 1017 Records. Just like that, this young cat from the projects went from local Memphis buzz to being backed by one of the biggest names in trap music. The signing to 1017 was Pooh Shiesty's first major payday, and while the exact numbers haven't been made public, we're talking about a deal that instantly put him in millionaire status. Google estimates put his net worth at around $1 million. But trust me, fam, that's just the beginning of this money story. The explosion, Back in Blood, and main
basically $1 million or $500,000. You gotta live off of that. You gotta spend the money, studio money with that. You gotta buy jewelry with that. You gotta buy clothes with that. Like basically everything. It's just
Chat,
like,
is this real?
and it's like almost like a trap. If you got a good label and you're able to drop hits, and your label promotes them and do, you know, what labels do, and get, you know, their money back. But if you're not able to produce the money back, then you kind of like in a hole until you're able to pay them back. But if you don't want to have that control, if you don't want a label to control you, you're gonna need to have to do it yourself. You know, hire your own manager, your own studio, your own stuff, your own schedule and everything. So it's a lot more work. I'm definitely not doing no 360. That's what we're not gonna do. I don't know about no 360. No.
stream success. Now, if you thought the Gucci signing was big, wait until you hear about what happened next. In November 2020, Pooh Shiesty linked up with Lil Durk for a track called Back in Blood. The story behind this collaboration is crazy. Pooh Shiesty was at Savage Inc. recording studio in Atlanta, laid down his verse, then ran it over to Durk.
I created a 6-figure cheat code to cut through the fluff and give you the real plan. A clear path to make money online. Learn to pick a profitable niche. Grow a attracting page. Create cash generating content and so much more. So click the link in the description. Don't waste no time if you guys want to make money online.
Another room. Durk heard it and dropped his verse in just 5 minutes. That song became an absolute monster, climbing all the way to number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hitting number 6 on the hip-hop charts. We're talking hundreds of millions of streams, fam, with Spotify paying artists with supercars on the highway. And here's where the story gets absolutely insane. Pooh Shiesty was also renting McLarens. These cars can run anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000 depending on the model. This young cat was living like he had unlimited funds, switching between Lambos, Jeeps, and McLarens like most people switch between different pairs of shoes. The craziest purchase, 2 Ferraris from prison. Now gang, this is where Pooh Shiesty's story gets absolutely wild, and I mean next level crazy. When Pooh Shiesty got locked up in 2021, most people would expect him to lay low, save his money, and wait for his release. But not this cat. No cap. Pooh Shiesty was so bored in prison that he decided to buy 2 Ferraris while he was locked up. Think about how insane that is for a second. This dude is sitting in a federal prison, can't drive anywhere, can't even see these cars. But he's so rich and so bored that he just decides to drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on Ferraris. We're talking about cars that start at around $200,000 each and can easily go up to $500,000 or more depending on the model. According to reports, Pooh Shiesty bought these cars as a flex on his Instagram model girlfriend's new man. Apparently Shorty had moved on while he was locked up, and Pooh Shiesty wanted to show both her and her new dude that his money was still long. He was basically saying, yeah, I'm locked up, but I'm still richer than y'all will ever be. This move shows you just how much money Pooh Shiesty was sitting on. Most people would be worried about legal fees, commissary money, and saving for when they get out. But this cat was so financially secured that he could drop $500,000 or more on cars he couldn't even drive just to prove a point. Real estate moves, buying mom a mansion.
Oh my God.
Big boy, she love cooking.
One of the most heartwarming parts of Pooh Shiesty's wealth story is what he did for his family. As soon as the money started flowing heavy, one of his first major purchases was buying his mother a brand new mansion. We don't have the exact details on the price or location, but from the footage that's been shared, we're talking about a massive house that probably cost several $100,000, if not more. This move shows you that despite all the street stuff and the wild spending, Pooh Shiesty never forgot where he came from. Taking care of your family is always the first priority when you make it out the hood, and Pooh Shiesty did it in a big way. The pet game. Expensive pit bull pups. Even Pooh Shiesty's pets were expensive, fam. This cat picked up some ferocious pit bull puppies, and if you know anything about high-quality breeding, these dogs don't come cheap. Good breeders sell these types of dogs for anywhere between $2,000 to $20,000 per pup, depending on the bloodline and training. Pooh Shiesty didn't just get one, he got multiple dogs, so we're potentially looking at $40,000 or more just on pets. And that's not even counting the ongoing costs of feeding, training, and caring for these animals. But when you're making millions, dropping tens of thousands on dogs is just another Tuesday. Merchandise empire building.
Spending hella bread, but like he getting the money, like that's for sure. But now that house is definitely nice. Yeah, like most definitely, like
multiple revenue, caring for these animals. But when you're making millions, dropping tens of thousands on dogs is just another Tuesday. Merchandise empire building multiple revenue streams. What made Pooh Shiesty's wealth even more impressive was that he wasn't just relying on music. Through his partnership with 1017 Records, he had a whole merchandise empire. Every hoodie sold was putting serious money directly in Pooh Shiesty's pocket. Streaming millions, the real money maker. Let's break down where the real money was coming from, gang. Pooh Shiesty's debut project, Shiesty Season, debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, moving 62,000 album equivalent units in its first week. That's impressive for any artist, but especially for someone who was relatively new to the game. His biggest hits were generating massive streaming numbers. Back in Blood with Lil Durk, over 100 million views on YouTube alone. Monday to Sunday with Lil Baby and Big 30, over 50 million YouTube views. Prison hadn't hurt his pockets at all. His homie Big 30 was there to sell.
Definitely, you know, take care of your family. But that's when you got the money. If you don't got no money, how can you expect to help people if you don't got no money, especially if you can help yourself? You could have some money, you know, you could help if you know, if you know, depending on if they, you know, need this, need that help. But if you don't got no money, like, bro, you gotta just lock in, get that money, you know what I mean? You know, what you need to do. So you get into that bag, and you know, you could start buying nice things. But what you really want to do is, you know, get that bag, be smarter with it, and grow that money until eventually you could, you know, you getting enough money, your power money of your investments repay you, and you're able to like pay for what you need and, you know, live good. But yeah, Pooh Shiesty definitely got that work ethic. It took him a minute to drop music, but what he did not. He made sure he was on point and sharp.
In yourself. Even his expensive jewelry and cars were part of building his brand. Plan for setbacks. His wealth structure allowed him to maintain his lifestyle even while locked up. Stay humble, but flex when necessary. Buying those Ferraris from prison was the ultimate power move. Now that Pooh Shiesty is back on the streets, the question is, what's next? He's already shown that his wealth is intact, dropping $100,000 on jewelry on his first day out. With the music industry having evolved during his time away, and with his fan base still loyal, he's positioned to potentially make even more money than before. The fact that he's now operating under his own Choppa Gang label instead of 1017 Records suggests he's taking more control of his business and keeping more of the profits. This could mean even bigger paydays in the future. Pooh Shiesty's story is one of the wildest rags to riches tales in recent hip-hop history. From the Cane Creek projects to buying Ferraris from prison, this young cat showed the world what it means to go from broke to rich practically overnight. His wealth wasn't just about the money, it was about the power, the respect, and the ability to take care of his family and his crew. Even when faced with federal charges and prison time, Pooh Shiesty's financial foundation was strong enough to not only survive, but to allow him to make power moves from behind bars. The fact that he could drop hundreds of thousands on cars he couldn't even drive just to prove a point shows you the level of wealth we're talking about. This wasn't just rap money. This was generational wealth that was built smart and built to last. As Pooh Shiesty continues his journey back into the music game, one thing is clear. His time in prison didn't break his spirit or his bank account. If anything, it showed the world that life.
You know, stick to your work, show up every day, do it as efficient as possible, get as much work done as possible, as efficiently as possible. And then the only rest you get is when you sleep, because you gotta think about it. You got 24 hours in a day. You only sleep 8 hours. Off the bat, you sleep 8 hours. After you sleep, you only got, depending if you go to work or go to school, off the bat, that's another 6 hours. You got homework, or after you out of work, you're tired. You know what I mean? So you got chores, including if you got, you got any other things you have to get done throughout the day. So you don't have time to be. You're not gonna feel like it every day. 4 hours out of your day, put that time in the thing that you want to do. No matter what IQ you are, just show up every day and be consistent. Be as efficient as possible, as little as time as possible, and the only time you rest is when you go to sleep. And do it all over again, and don't give up, and keep going until you get there.